truth is elusive. The following program might shock and anger you. But don't believe anything you see or hear on this program or any others. Research it yourself to verify its validity. This is the age of deception. I'm not here to entertain you. You have 60 other channels to do that, to keep you numbed down and dumbed down. Your life is an illusion. Okay, Ann Arbor, here I am again, ready to smack you around for an hour, and this time I'm really going to give it to you because I've had enough. Here we are right before the election or on the election. You're watching a show called Forbidden Knowledge. My name is Craig, and my job here is to awaken the American sheeple by slapping around, wake you up. Get it? That's why I say that, slapping around. That's why I do that every week when I come on this TV. Well, tonight you are not watching a live show. You are watching a show recorded on October 14th, a full moon, I see on the calendar. And it's going to be aired on October 31st, which I believe is Halloween. It's not showing on this calendar, but I believe that's Halloween. And October 4th, which is Election Day. And that's what we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about the election because you don't have a clue. Almost all of you. I talk with you all the time, even people that should know better. I'm going to go fully into the topic, but let me make some announcements first. This is not a live show. You will not be able to call in, so I'm not even going to show you the number. But I will show the website later and email address where you can come in, call and, well, not call, write to me to disagree strongly with what you're going to hear today because I'm about ready to let you have it tonight. So this is going to be, unfortunately, because I'm on sort of two sort of holidays kind of thing. If you're watching on Friday, then not many people are because they're out trick-or-treating or going to parties or whatever. And if you're watching on Tuesday, well, you should be out going to vote, I presume. So not many people are going to see this show, unfortunately, and it's probably going to be one of my classics, believe it or not. But let me make there's one thing I want to bring up several episodes ago, many episodes ago, actually. And again, I'm taping this 2.5 weeks before it airs. I wanted to talk about an episode I did recently, about 2 months ago. Actually, what we're doing, we're recording episode number 82 right now. Okay, and back on episode number, probably episode number 74, that airs on September 5th, which was the CTN Open House Day, I did a show called The Kosher Food Racket. Now in that show, I mentioned how it would be quite controversial, and if I got on the internet, I'd be getting a lot of hate mail stuff. Well, I haven't been getting hate mail. Well, probably because they pulled it off the internet as soon as it appeared. You see, what happened was somebody recorded it, put it on the internet, and it went on an episode on a station, or not a station, on a site called BitTorrents. And when it went on that site, within 5 minutes, it was generating all kinds of bloggers saying anti-this, anti-that, hate speech, blah, 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 and the site pulled it. Now, that's the first time that's ever happened to my show on BitTorrents, let alone any site. It got pulled within 5 minutes, folks, and this 5 minutes, they didn't even have time to think about it or to watch the show to see if it was anti-Semitic, and yet it got pulled. It got all these people calling it, and those are the people I was talking about that were going to be from the B'nai B'rith or Anti-Defamation League or any of these types of organizations that would cause problems, and indeed they did. So that's the first time that's ever happened to me, first time my show has been pulled, banned, whatever you want to call it, from a site. So if you missed it and that powerful information, if you want to know what the big hubbub was about, why it was banned, why it was pulled, you can still see it on the internet. And here's how you'd go about it. You can go to the website and find out too. I got it on my website, and I might as well do that right now. The website's name is, of course, Forbidden Knowledge at, okay, well, how come this doesn't appear? There it is. ForbiddenKnowledge.info. Now, normally I would put the phone number to call in, but this is not a live show tonight. So go to the website, you can find out how to do it, but I'll tell you right now if you don't have a computer. The site called Google, so google.com, you go to Google Video, which as soon as you go to the main Google page, up on the top, kind of near the middle, it's not right, it's near, it's where it says more. There's up in the very top of the bars, there's one that says more. You pull that down, there'll be video. So you click on video. So Google Video. Then you enter in search words, Forbidden Knowledge TV. Enter in those 3 words, Forbidden Knowledge TV. And will come my show. Probably most of the things on the first page will be my show. And just click on one of those episodes, whichever one you want. And then when you do that, when you click on any of my episodes, you will see listed among there, I think last time I checked, there were 11 of my episodes there. For those of you who want to see some of my older episodes, since we are on number 82 right now, there's lots more, obviously. And if you click on the one called Kosher Food Racket, if you look, when you click on any of my shows, it'll start playing. Then if you click on to the right of where the screen is, you'll see a bunch of other shows I did. There'll be 4 or 5 listed there. You click on an arrow, you go to 4 or 5 more shows, click on an arrow, go to more. So that's where you can find the show called the Kosher Food Racket. So find out what all the hubbub was about, why it was called anti-Semitic or anti-whatever they called it. Find out why it was banned from the internet. It still is on the internet on various sites. And Google, so far, has not pulled any of that episode or any of my episodes, at least as this taping on October 14th. It might change any instant, of course. But anyway, find out what all the hubbub was about. Find out what was that episode. If you didn't see it, find out what it was and watch it, because it's very important information. Now, we talked a lot about, before I get into my main topic, I have a lot to talk about. I guess I shouldn't go into this other business. The economy at the time was recovering remarkably, and I bet today is going to go up another 300 points. And of course, I didn't say it on the air, I guess, so I can't prove it, but I expected to go up about 1,200 points pretty dramatically, real quick, and yesterday it did. Yesterday, meaning October 13th, it did go up dramatically. Went up about 900 some points. I actually expected to go up to about 1,200 points. That's why I expect another 300 a day. What I'm trying to do right now is get into my screen for, although this is not a live show, I'm treating it as such. I'm doing it in one take. I'm just basically going in and I'm going to have to show this on the screen a second until I find the screen I want. Let's go the other way because it's near the end. I'm moving along to a screen that I need to get the portion I want to play, because this will be the next clip I want to play. And I have played this before. For those of you who have seen my show for this last year and a half plus, will have seen this clip before, but it's an excellent clip. Bear with it. But here we are on Election Day, for some of you watching. Again, this show was taped long before, and it was initially going to air on October 31st and November 4th, Election Day. So I had to get my last piece in, because my live shows get kind of hectic before, about talking about the election, because I am absolutely sickened about the ignorance of the American sheeple. Unfortunately, it's hard being a patriot here in the Socialist Republic of Ann Arbor, and I say that intentionally and not just to get laughs, because I see it all the time. And being a patriot in a socialist society just doesn't work. And my show isn't very popular. I wish it was more popular. I was in some other areas which I believe to be more socialist, but the show was more popular in 2 other states I was in. I was actually being recognized in the streets all the time. Here in Ann Arbor, I don't get recognized very often. So at a recent protest, by the way, September 11th, we protested. Every 11th of the month, if you want to join in, we do these protests. Email me, and we'll tell you how to get there. Get to these protests wherever they may be. We go where there's probably the most exposure. Every September 11th, we're protesting about getting the truth out about September 11th. Okay, my regular viewers know about September 11th. That's not the topic for now. We're talking about. I'm really going to be talking today about being a real American. Because none of you that I see are. There's only about this many people in this city that I could call a real American. And that's a damn shame. We have a population of over 100,000, I believe. That's a damn shame when I can only put on my finger this many Americans. There are just very many of you. At least I haven't met many of you, okay? And I've been in this town for a while here and supposedly meeting people that are true Americans, and I just don't see it. And the reason is because you're so ignorant. And I'll just briefly talk on this topic here that I'm going to play this video clip for, because this is like, I think David Letterman used to do this. I don't know if he still does. I haven't watched his show in probably 10 years. But he used to do this show where he asked people questions on the street. And this is the exact same thing, essentially. However, it's a topic that I want each of you to answer right now. And it's not a live show, so you can't call in. But I want you to answer this question to me now, to see if you're as ignorant as the rest of them. Because you probably are. Most of you, except regular viewers of my show, already know the answer to this question, but most of you don't. I'm going to get a little brazen with you today, a little brash, but you know what? You've had it coming to you for a long time for being so stupid. That's right, I call most of you stupid. Because if you can't answer this question, well, I guess it's ignorance, because you aren't taught the truth. And you're lied to all the time, so I guess I have to call it more ignorance than stupidity. But I'm going to tell you right now, and I'm going to tell you the rest of this program, things that you should have already known as American. If you still go around believing the lies and the rumor mongers, then I guess I will have to call you stupid if you do not act within the truth once you know the truth. So the question is, to all of you, I pose to you, I ask you, I beg of you to answer this question for yourself to see if indeed you are ignorant. What form of government do we have in this country? Here we are going to the polls on Tuesday, if you're watching on Tuesday. We're going to the polls soon. What form of government do we have in this country?
Is everybody dumb?
Can you answer it? Most of you have an answer running out. Oh yeah, I think I know. But that's why I've done this before on a live show. None of you call in because none of you dare show your ignorance on live TV. But I keep looking at the time clock here on the screen. So let's play this clip. If I get it to where, let's do it properly. We are now answering the question. That's the question I posed, and this is the answer we get on the street, as per like the David Letterman style of polling.
You're asking me? That's a good question. I don't know.
I don't really know.
Democracy.
I have no idea.
Democracy, yeah. What form?
What form of government do we have in the United States?
What form of government do we have in the United States? We have a democracy.
Democracy.
Democracy?
Democracy? Would I be surprised to find that we don't have a democracy?
Yes, yeah.
Yes.
Well, yeah, I would be surprised.
I would be very surprised.
Ooh, when was the last time I said the pledge? When's the last time I said the Pledge of Allegiance?
About 8 years ago.
Oh, probably a year ago.
Probably 21 years ago.
Do I remember the words? I think I do. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the
United States of America,
and to the republic.
for which it stands. And to the what?
Republic.
And to the what?
Republic.
Republic. The Republic. That's right. And we are a republic.
Republic. Oh, the republic.
The difference.
What is the difference between a democracy and a republic? What is the difference between a republic and a democracy?
I can't remember spelling. Jeez, that's a good question. Don't know the answer. Oh, good Lord. Whoa! You got me there. I don't know the answer to that.
And neither did most of you. Is my mic volume up here? And neither did most of you know the answer to that question.
Can
that's a damn
society
shame.
truly free if the government has the right to take your personal property?
No.
Okay, there was more to that, but I only wanted to play that section. You see what I mean? Now, this show, for those of you who may have a weak heart, you may want to call your doctor, have him on standby. Because I'm going to make a lot of you absolutely angry at me for telling you the truth that you don't know or you don't want to hear. Because you have beliefs. Not facts, you had beliefs. You believed it was democracy. Most all you did.
Truth is stranger than fiction.
When you find out it's Republican, it's not a republic, it's a democracy. I can hear most of you saying right now, who is this guy? Who does he think he is? I can prove it. Read Article 4, Section 4 of the U.S. Constitution. Constitution for the United States of America. Article 4, Section 4. Easily proven. This is a republic. Our founding fathers were scared to death of this country ever becoming a democracy and put safeguards in this little constitution to make sure it never became a democracy, because democracies always die a terrible death of socialism.
Is everybody dumb?
And part of the reason I'm doing this program is because I mentioned the 11th. October 11th, I stood on the street, and it wasn't just this gentleman, it's a lot of people. It's the attitude of a lot of people. I met this gentleman who was apparently a viewer of my show and liked the show, but except for one thing. He disagreed with my views about socialism. And I said to him, well, we are becoming more and more socialist. And he says, yeah, that's good. Kind of surprised me. But I guess it shouldn't have surprised me too much but I'm surprised he watches my show, actually. Because this is not a show for socialists, which you will find out very shortly here. So I was surprised. We just had a disagreement. That's fine. People are welcome to disagree with me. But I happen to know this is a republic, and it was never meant to be a democracy, and it was never meant to be socialistic or communistic, because that's where we're heading. That's the progression of what happens when you become a democratic society. It becomes slowly into socialism, because what happens is, and we're talking about election day here, and this is, I'm hoping to get some points across to you about your vote. I'm not telling you how to vote. You vote however you wish. But it's important to understand that every time you go to the polls, you are probably, most of you sheeple out there, are creating a more and more socialistic society. And okay, maybe that's what you want, because after all these politicians offer you, the way they want to try to get your vote is to offer you all this stuff free. Free health care, free benefits of whatever form of benefits, and what is that? That's socialistic. No matter how way you stack it, anything you're going to get free from government is a socialistic viewpoint. Can I not get at least the socialists to agree with that? Okay, you think everything's going to be free, but of course it comes at a price, a terrible price. It comes at a price of your freedom, and it comes at a price of your taxes as well, of course, because in order to pay for these programs, it comes out of your pocket. Now, if you are on welfare or something, well, you're already living the socialist life, so you'll gladly vote for the most socialistic person you can find. This program is going to make a lot of you mad at me, because I'm also going to tell you, being election day, we're going to get into this in great depth, and I'm going to prove some things to you that you will not like. Most all you will not like, because I hear it all the time on the press, and you've been brainwashed your entire life, and most of you don't even know it. So already you can see that you have been brainwashed all your life about believing this is a great democracy. We need to make the world safe for democracy all over the world. We need to conquer all these nations and thrust democracy at them, when of course we are not a democracy. We are a republic. Get that through your thick skulls. You've been lied to all your life. And the way they said, the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands. Is that proof not enough for you? If not, Article 4, Section 4 of the Constitution for the United States of America, which gives you the definition, tells you what this country is, and it is a republic. Plain and simple, period, nothing else. So get this democracy crap out of your head. Now, democracies. Here we are going to the polls today, if you're watching on Tuesday. And all the attention, of course, in the press, because I've already demonstrated how the press lies to you, your school lies to you, even your parents lied to you because your parents probably were ignorant too. But here we are going to the polls, and we have been brainwashed for the last more than a year. You know, you must choose either Tweedledee or Tweedledum. Are you ready for an abomination? Catch those words, abomination? Or do you want a McLean candidate? Doesn't matter, either one. They're both socialists. There's no difference between the two parties. They're all out to promise you whatever they think they can get your vote for. And it really doesn't matter anyway, because you don't vote for president. Now, this is the big shocker to all of you. This is where you're really going to get mad at me. Because I can say, who does this guy think he is? I go to the poll every 4 years and I vote for Tweedledum or whoever. My candidate was the winner. You voted for whoever you thought might win. You didn't vote for who you thought might be the best candidate, most of you. You voted for who might be the winner so that I may be now feel good because I selected the right choice. Everybody else agreed with me. He was elected president. Well, this is the sad part of the situation, folks, with none of you seem to know. Even fellow patriots, I have the hardest time getting people to understand this. You do not select the president, period. That's right. Oh yeah, you place a little check in the box where it says President of the United States, but if you look when you go to the ballot today, now I didn't look how this particular ballot looks, but I bet you it says on the top, Elector for President of the United States of America. You see, you have no say in a federal election. You never have. You believe you have because you've been brainwashed all your life. All this stuff about selecting, getting signatures on the ballot, getting the party's consent, getting all the airtime, the commercials, the debates, all this dog and pony show that's been placed for your benefit to get you to believe this is a democracy has been all for your benefit of the brainwashing of the American people. Pure and simple, folks. Because I'm going to prove to you tonight, whatever time you're watching, that that you don't vote for president. Never have, never will. Let's hope you never will. Because the scourge of democracies is mob rule. In other words, majority rules. Now, because all of you, I just demonstrated how badly you've been, and we haven't got to the proof yet of the Electoral College it's generally referred to. I haven't proved that yet, but bear with me, we will prove that tonight. All of you have been believing all your life that you select a president, this great democracy of ours, majority rules, whoever votes most for a particular candidate for president becomes president. Wrong. How wrong you are. Democracies, and because I've demonstrated how, get back to my point here, because democracies is a mob rule situation, and the Founding Fathers had safeguards in this little book to make sure we never had a democracy, because of ignorant people like you who refuse to turn off the TV, which you might be wanting to do right now if you aren't throwing things at your TV by now. I'm here to make you mad at me tonight, folks. Ignorant people who watch the TV and believe all the lies and propaganda and BS that's on this TV, believe you are selecting the president. Believe this is a great democracy. Believe, and it's all beliefs. It's not reality. Because when you now elect the president as you believe, well, it could be blamed on you because after all, you elected him. When this country goes down, things go wrong. Well, it's your fault because you elected them. No, it's actually quite opposite here. Now let me explain to you what I'm talking about with the Electoral College, because most of you don't understand this. Okay, you've heard of the Electoral College, but do any of you really know what it is? Do you know what the rules are and what really happens in the electoral process of the president? Now, I'm not suggesting you don't go to the polls. However, when you place a check mark in the ballot for elector for President of the United States, that's a meaningless vote. Anything to do with the federal election is a meaningless vote because you have no say-so in a federal election. I do, however, suggest you research greatly and skip all the dog and pony show, get to the real issues, get to the real candidates. And by the real candidates, what I mean is your local and state officials, not the federal, because you have no say-so in a federal election. Now, I know I'm making a lot of you jump up and down, hopping mad, screaming at me, throwing things in the TV, but by God, this is the absolute truth, and we're going to prove it. The Electoral College, the electors select the president. Now, let me read to you, and I can even put it on the screen, because I do have it ready, actually. Let me go to this button here, and we're going to read to you, and you can read along, from the Constitution for the United States of America, Article 2, Section 1. If you have a copy of the Constitution, which I bet most all of you do not, and I bet most of you have never read the Constitution. See how small this is? It's not very big, and it's not in legal mumbo-jumbo that you can't understand it. It's small. It'll take you maybe 15 minutes, 20 minutes to read it all. It's not hard to understand. It's written in plain English. But you've been brainwashed thinking, well, this is too complicated for you to understand. You couldn't possibly understand. You need a professional, a constitutional lawyer to understand what this says. No, it's written here in plain English. And things you don't understand, you just go back to the writings of the founding fathers to get a little more detail about what they meant if you do not understand it. But none of you will ever do that. No, you'll wait for the TV to tell you this is a great democracy, or that you vote for president, both of which are false. So Article 2. Section 1, since you don't have a constitution and you refuse to read it yourself, you're going to have to hear me read it. And I'll put it on the screen if you think I'm making this up. This is a version from this particular Constitution. The Constitution comes in many formats. It's widely available on the internet, your library. You might even have a copy in a dictionary that you might have, or encyclopedia of some kind, might be in there. Even though they're trying to subvert it and try to hide the truth from you, it's still readily available. You can get it in a slightly edited version, I might add, because of the 13th Amendment, but we won't get into that right now. Article 2, Section 2, and I just put the wrong screen on there. I need this screen. Okay, here it is. Article 2, Section 2. Read along and weep, folks. Section 1. The executive power shall be vested in a President of the United States of America. He shall hold his office during the term of 4 years, and together with the Vice President, chosen for the same term, be elected as follows. Now, that's easily understandable, isn't it? Now, the next part is the key part, folks. The president can be elected only in the way described in the Constitution. No other way. Okay? Keep that in mind. This is the law. So how does the president get elected? Each state shall appoint in such manner as the legislature thereof may direct a number of electors equal to the whole number of senators and representatives to which the state may be entitled in the Congress, but no senator or representative or person holding an office of trust or profit under the United States shall be appointed as an elector. Got it? Next paragraph. Is it on the screen here? Yeah, I'll have to move it down here pretty soon. The electors shall meet in their respective states and vote by ballot for 2 persons, of whom one at least shall not be an inhabitant of the same state with themselves. And I better move this up for you, because you may not believe this unless you see it with your own eyes, and I have to do this like so. So where was I? And they shall make a list of all the persons voted for, and the number of votes for each, which list they shall sign and certify, and transmit sealed to the seat of the government of the United States, directed to the President of the Senate. The President of the Senate shall, in the presence of the Senate and House of Representatives, open all the certificates, and the votes shall then be counted. I guess I got to move it again for you. I want to make sure you see this with your own eyes, because all you are hopping mad at me for telling you don't vote for president. And the votes shall then be counted. The person having the greatest number of votes shall be the president, if such number be a majority of the whole number of electors appointed, and there is more than one who have such majority and have an equal number of votes, then the House of Representatives shall immediately choose by ballot one of them for president. And if no person, and I really don't need to get on here the rest of this, this is if it fails, the process fails, there are safeguards and remedies. Read the rest of it yourself. Okay, folks, I just proved it to you. Or were you listening? Were you paying attention? I know there's 70 other channels on this tube that tell you just different, exactly the opposite of what I just told you, but I just proved it to you. Has the press ever proved to you that you elect the president? Or do you just believe you elect the president because you've been told that all your life? Quit being so stupid. You do not elect the president. You know how many hours of TV could have been changed to better purposes if it wasn't for this election? You should be paying attention to your local races, your state races, not the federal. There is no other way the president is elected except what is in this document. No other way. You have been lied to. Face it. Wake up. This is why I get angry at people, for being so ignorant or stupid. Now, all the viewers of this show should know, and I hope people don't start repeating this. I hope it's repeating the lies, the rumor mongers, the fraud of the popular election, because the electors select the president. You do not. Now, this comes as a great shock to most of you. But if I have to be the bad guy for bringing you this information, then so be it. I just want people to wake up in this city, because when this city goes down like the rest of the country is going to go down someday soon here within our lifetimes, I hope we have enough people that are smart enough to know what's happened, to fight back against it, and to make this a better world, other than buying into this democracy ideal, which evolves into socialism. Because, and I get off track, sorry folks, democracies evolve into socialism because in a democracy, all the ignorant sheeple out there thinking they're voting for president, think they're voting the majority rules, even though the majority is brainwashed. And you see I'm pointing at you. Even though I have three fingers pointing back at me, I do realize I'm part of the fault too, since I have done things in my time to bring this country down, such as pay the unlawful and illegal federal income tax, okay? So some of these fingers back at me are deserved, but I'm trying to get this point across here, folks. You do not select the president, never have. Here's another example how bad you're lied to. By the way, you've reached about the half-hour point of the show, and for those of you just tuning in and trying to find out what in the world this show is about, because unlike anything you've ever seen on TV in your whole life, you're watching a show called Forbidden Knowledge, and you kind of see why it's called Forbidden Knowledge. And my name is Craig, and I do this every week at this time, if you're watching on Friday or Tuesday, that is. Who is the candidate for what is the third largest party in this country? Okay, some of you might know it's the Libertarians. Who's the candidate for the Libertarian Party? Who's the supposed candidate for the Libertarian Party? I hear a lot of uhs out there. And I'm saying you should vote for Libertarian. I'm just making a point to you. The third largest party in this country, you don't even know who the candidate is. Not that it makes any difference since we don't vote for president anyway. You see how the press is very biased. Did you know also that there's other people running? I have 6 of them here. There's lots more than 6, but I just went on the internet one day real quickly and printed this out. Of course, Robert Barr is the Libertarian candidate. Did you know, here's a Green Party. Who's the candidate for the Green Party? You've heard of the Green Party. Who's the candidate? Most of you. Well, it's Cynthia McKinney, okay, a woman. And by the way, the running mate, let's see if it has it there. The running mate for Cynthia McKinney is Rose A. Clemente. Of course, you got Obama, okay, Democratic Party, blah, 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 Joseph Biden, okay, that's one of the Tweedledee, Tweedledum, whatever. And of course, let's go John McCain. Yeah, of course, you can select him. You can put your little check in the box. Even though it makes no difference, you can select him. Yeah, whatever. Running mate Sarah Palin, okay, whatever. Ralph Nader, you've heard that name. What's he running for? Anybody know? Going once, going twice? No party affiliation, at least this time. And of course, Ralph Nader, well, we can get into Ralph Nader, but he's been ignored this time. But sometimes they throw a third party candidate out there just to pretend you have a third choice, and then He's actually one of them, all right? So, but the real candidates, you never knew what the Libertarian candidate party was. Who was the Libertarian Party candidate last time? The third largest party in the nation last time? Who was it? Stumbling. Michael Banderick. Never heard of him, you say. Well, doesn't that prove my point about the press? Who was the one before that? No. Harry Brown. Never heard of him, right? Who was before that? 4 years before? Harry Brown again. Haven't heard of him still. Who was before that? 4 years before that? Andre Moreau, his name was. In any case, I'm proving my point. The third largest party in this country, and you don't have a clue. Most of you. I'm making the people mad who don't know this. I'm not making the people who do, and not very many people do know, but most of you do not. How about the, let's see here, we've got, you could get an Abomination and go with McLean, Nader, McKinney, Barr. Here's an independent, Charles Baldwin. He's an independent write-in candidate, actually, and he has not declared he has affiliations with Constitution Party of different states, independent in Green, Nebraska. He has a bunch of states here. He's listed various political affiliations. In any case, the point is you haven't heard of any of these, and there's lots more, folks. You haven't heard of these because the press won't really tell you about these third candidates because, you know, and I see it all the time on the press, on the radio, everywhere. It's everywhere. It's even among you people. You go to the polls and you say, well, I don't like either one of them, but this one's more evil, so I'm going to vote for this guy over here. And that's absolutely horrendous. Well, first of all, you never voted for president anyway. It doesn't really mean anything, but you do that for other candidates too. You vote for the lesser of two evils, but they're both evil. Instead of hunting down one of these other candidates to find out if they're evil too, you just vote for either Tweedledee or Tweedledum because, you know, well, the third party can't possibly win. And I'm not really talking necessarily about just the presidential race right now. Because again, presidential race you do not select. And I've already proven that. If you're just tuning in late, you'll have to go back and read Article 2, Section 1 yourself of the Constitution to find out that you do not vote for president, never have, never will. Because if this became a great democracy, it would become socialism overnight, and they're doing their best to make it become a democracy. Because the Founding Fathers knew democracies died, the death of socialism. Let me talk about social a little bit, because I get this a lot from even people who should know better. What socialism really entails, how it comes about, how it evolves, and what it turns into. Because with the ignorant masses out there who refuse to turn off this thing they call the TV and get brainwashed every day by this TV, all you know is from this TV and from the mainstream media. You have been brainwashed with these things. I've just proven over and over again already today how much you are actually brainwashed. And when you ignorant people out there, which I'm talking about 99% of you out there, maybe not the ones that watch this show, hopefully about 50% of you here watching the show are awakened and will share this information with others. Try to awaken them. But most everybody who watches this TV are unaware of these facts completely. So they go on about life being brainwashed their entire life, not knowing what the truth is, not knowing what it's like to be a real American, and voting for all these things, these issues and things, and the goal is socialism. That's where we're heading. We're really pretty much there already. And the idea is to turn into a one-world socialistic nation, a one-world socialist totalitarian form of government. Break those words down. One world socialist totalitarian government. Well, you know what I've described there? I've described worldwide communism, worldwide control. It's been an ages-old dream of mankind over the centuries, over the millennia, to rule the world. And that's what you're seeing happening here. Because a lot of people ask me, well, when is all this going to happen? It's happening. It's been happening. It's slowly evolving at a pace where you won't pick up your gun and do something about it. Yes, it's happening. It's happening today at the polls. It's happening at your local level. You see, this country is being destroyed from within. We don't need some foreign army to come in here and invade us, to take us over. We are being destroyed from within. And the press is controlled. As you see, now by my words today, how badly the press is controlled. So the goal is to have worldwide socialism, and under worldwide socialism, the basic concept of socialism, for those of you who really aren't too familiar with the term, because I see it bantered about all the time for people who think it's good, is basically government supplies everything. I mean, it's like everybody's equal, government supplies everything. You get into more communistic when you talk about where everything is from government, where everybody's sucking at the teat of government to survive. Socialism must entail higher and higher taxes as it progresses. Is that really what you want, all you socialists out there? More and more taxes? That's what you're proclaiming when you say you love socialism and this is good that we're going into socialism. Everybody has their reasons, reasons and opinions to disagree with me and to believe what you believe. That's fine. And come on here and get your own show. If you get mad at me, well, have the socialist hour come on at 8 p.m. on Fridays or whatever. Bring your own show on here and counter what I say. Truth, counter truth, point, whatever. If you believe it. Because I'm countering everything everybody ever says in the press, basically. What I'm doing right now. Rush Limbaugh, Sean Hannity, O'Reilly. Fair and balanced? You decide. And you thought you were getting news. You know, in Nazi Germany, they called their propaganda, what we call propaganda today, they called, at the time, news. And years later, when things collapse, you will look back and history will show that, well, we called this news, but it was just propaganda. It's clear today to us and to Germany that was all propaganda during Hitler, but at the time it was news. So you go turn on your 6:30 news and see the daily propaganda. I still watch the daily propaganda, but now I know better. You see, I know I'm being brainwashed, and I can laugh at the TV now and realize that they're lying. It's not that hard to do. Just do a little study. And the first step would be reading the Constitution. For what I'm talking about today, we're trying to make people real Americans. Now, I'm going to play another clip here because I want to calm down a little bit, gather my thoughts, and what is it like to be a real American? None of you will really understand. I mean, I see it all the time. I wouldn't say none of you, but most of you don't. And I'm trying to cue something else up here, and I might as well just go straight to it and do like this. We just watched something called Democracy with a question mark. And what I want now is this 3.5 minute poem here, which is very interesting. Let's go back to this here and put this. This is something I put together. Real Americans will love this. You socialists will hate it. Real Americans might even cry listening to this, and because it kind of chokes me up when I hear it. Very important to hear. So please pay attention. Let's see here. I want to go this, and I want to go this. And then
I had a dream the other night that, well, I didn't understand. A figure walked in through the mist with a flintlock in his hand. His clothes were torn and dirty as he stood there by my bed. He took off his three-cornered hat, and speaking low to me, he said, "We fought a revolution to secure our liberty. We wrote the Constitution as a shield from tyranny. For future generations, this legacy we gave. In this, the land of the free and home of the brave. The freedoms we secured for you, we'd hoped you'd always keep. But tyrants labored endlessly while your parents were asleep. Your freedom's gone, your courage lost. You're no more than a slave. In this, the land of the free and home of the brave. You buy permits to travel and permits to own a gun. Permits to start a business or to build a place for one. On land that you believe you own, you pay a yearly rent, although you have no voice in saying how the money's spent. Your children must attend a school that doesn't educate, and your Christian values can't be taught according to the state. You read about the current news in a regulated press, and you pay a tax you do not owe to please the IRS. Your money is no longer made of silver nor of gold. You trade your wealth for paper, so your life can be controlled. You pay for crimes that make our nation turn from God and shame. You've taken Satan's number. You've traded in your name. You've given government control to those who do you harm so they could burn down churches and seize the family farm and keep our country deep in debt. Put men of God in jail. Harass your fellow countrymen while corrupted courts prevail. Your public servants don't uphold the solemn oaths they've sworn. And your daughters visit doctors so their children won't be born. Your leaders send artillery and guns to foreign shores and send your sons to slaughter fighting other people's wars. Can you regain the freedoms for which we fought and died? Or don't you have the courage or the faith to stand with pride? And are there no more values for which you'll fight to save? Or do you wish your children to live in fear and be a slave? O sons of the Republic, arise, take a stand. Defend the Constitution, the supreme law of the land. Preserve our great republic and each God-given right. And pray to God to keep the torch of freedom burning bright. As I awoke, he'd vanished in the mist from whence he came. His words were true. We are not free, but we have ourselves to blame. For even now as tyrants trample each God-given right, we only watch and tremble, too afraid to stand and fight. If he stood by your bedside in a dream while you were asleep and wondered what remains of the freedoms he'd fought to keep, what would be your answer if he called out from the grave? Is this still the land of the free and home of the brave? God bless you, and God bless this republic.
What? I didn't have my microphone on that whole time. I'm sorry. Okay, well, sorry about that. I'm going to keep going. Okay, there was 30 seconds of silence there. Sorry about that. Well, you don't deserve to be free. Doesn't that kind of choke you up? I mean, realize how ignorant we are, how stupid we are? Our founding fathers gave their lives. A lot of people gave their lives for this country. And you know what? Anybody in the last 100 years has not given their lives for this country. And this is going to make a lot of you mad too. We were never designed to have a foreign army go out and invade foreign countries. The National Guard was set up to protect our country. The Coast Guard set up to protect our country. That was the only type of military we ever supposed to have. You find that true if you look at the writings of the founding fathers. There was never intended to be a standing army. But again, you believe it's good. We got to throw democracy everywhere in the world, which will become socialistic, which will become a one-world socialist totalitarian form of government. Because even socialistic societies always evolve eventually into communism, where government controls everything. Everybody works for government, everything is controlled by government, and we're actually quite communistic now, if you really want to know the truth of the matter, folks. But all you socialists believe this is just great. Oh, this is just wonderful. I get everything free from government. Well, I've explained that a little bit, and I don't have a lot of time, and I want to get into some other topics, because I know one of the things we talked about, I guess I get off track, I know I do, folks. But you don't deserve to live in a free society when you're so ignorant about the electoral process for president, about democracy versus republic. And you go to the ballot box and vote for the least of the two evils, not looking for a better candidate. You think you got to vote for Tweedledee or Tweedledum. Well, you got to support our troops. It's all brainwashing, folks. There's other candidates out there that you could vote for if you wanted. But you need to look at the local candidates, not the presidential candidates. Presidential candidates are meaningless. Because here's why they're also meaningless. And you continue to do this stuff to us, you're going to get what you deserve. by being so stupid and ignorant. But the problem is, I'm going to get what you deserve too. Because of your great democracy. Democracy rules, after all. Mob rule. Well, everybody else thinks that we should give up our rights, so you got to go along too. No. The Constitution has safeguards to protect me from idiots like you. I don't give up my rights. My rights are safeguarded, even if I don't vote. That's right. Even if I don't vote, my rights are protected under law. Well, that's going to surprise a lot of you, because that's why it's a republic. You see, democracy is mob rules. Republic is we elect local officials or state officials who represent us, who may have more knowledge than us. Okay, you might not agree with that, but this is the way our country's set up. And I get a lot of people saying, well, if you don't like it, why don't you leave? No, why don't you leave if you don't like the way our country is supposed to be? Because this describes my country right here. What you describe, it's not written anywhere. What you want, not written for this country anyway. You might want to read Karl Marx, and then you'll find out what this country is headed for. Lenin, Marx, that would be more. Read the 10 planks of the Communist Manifesto. Google those words, 10 planks of the Communist Manifesto, to find out what this country is becoming and what it is going to become, what it is already, if you want to know the fact of the matter. Woo, making a lot of people mad. But back to the electoral process, because if you're just joining us, I just proved on the air that we do not select the president. The electors select the president in no other way. All this crap in the last two elections was, George Bush stole the election. No, he didn't. The electors selected him and he became president. And you know what? All this stuff about the hanging chad and the ballots and recount and all this stuff for president is all the dog and pony show. It's all stuff that's absolutely a fraud. Now, I've been here for the last 20 minutes. I'm sure a lot of you are screaming at TV say, well, the electors have to select whoever we tell them to select. Wrong. I told you how the electors select the president already. Article 2, Section 1. It doesn't say they have to vote for, because you know what? And I don't know how Michigan is. A lot of states do this. They pretend to say that the electors must select what the popular vote for. That's who they place the ballot for in January. Well, January, what? Where'd that come from? January? Huh? Where'd that come from? Well, duh. November does not determine president. Never has, never will. The electors select by ballot January 6th. So no matter what the press tells you when it comes time for November 4th, all the numbers coming in, ooh, this state is going this way, this state's going that way, it's all BS. Because the electors haven't even selected their choice yet. And you know what? The selectors can select whoever they want. This is what's going to make a lot more people mad, to think they know better. The selectors can select whoever they want. They can select me for president if they wanted to. I don't have to get 10 million signatures on a piece of paper to say, here, put me on the ballot, please. No, the electors can vote for whomever they want, even if they're not on any party affiliation, if they're not a part of any other organization or on the ballot or whatever. It's all bull. The electors can select whoever they want. And I'm still making a lot of you mad, I know, because you're screaming at the TV, well, no, they got to select who we tell them to. They got it. No, and I don't care if there is any state law. Maybe Michigan has one of these laws. I don't know. It can't be a law because it violates the law, you see, because the states have no jurisdiction in a federal election period. The president can be elected no other method except as described in Article 2, Section 1. No other way. So even if there is a law in Michigan or whatever other state you might say, the state has no say in the matter. So it's not a law because this is the law. Now, state law trumps a lot of federal stuff. However, this is federal law right here. The state law cannot violate the Constitution. And any state law that says an elector must select who the popular vote says is unconstitutional. Period. Because the electors can vote for whoever they want because the states have no say in the matter whatsoever. Now, the states do select that elector, and they may make a pledge to promise, oh yeah, I'll vote for who you say I should, but they don't have to. And you can do nothing about it. Do you know who your electors are? No, they know that, and they'll select whoever they want because it's their right to do so, no matter what any kind of state law says. This whole jurisdictional issue, if I had time to get into it, would get you extremely mad too, because on TV they constantly brainwash you to think, like, okay, there's a murder here, and okay, here comes the, or something, here come the feds now. Oh, we got to step back. The sheriff's got to step back because here come the feds. They're higher jurisdiction than us. No, the feds have no jurisdiction in the state whatsoever except what's described here, and they do have jurisdiction in the federal elections. Your vote for president. So, have I made myself painfully clear to all of you yet? Probably not. You're still going to turn off the CCTV and go vote for, I want an abomination, or whatever. Either Tweedledee or Tweedledum makes no difference. You don't select them. And here's another good, and I got on this topic and I got off track, and I don't have much time. Okay, election day, it's all day you're going to see live coverage here, there. Oh, this state's going for Obama, this state's going for McCain, blah, blah, blah. This state's still undecided. We might have to recount these votes. Oh, dear, 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 dear me. Well, no. It doesn't matter who when the TV finally has all over and they pretend, oh, well, this person won. And, you know, okay, now here come the lawsuits and the recounts and all this, but it makes no difference. Because you see, the electors have still not selected or placed their ballot. And that doesn't happen until January 6th, 2009. So we will not know who the president is until January 6th, 2009. Am I making myself clear? Oh, I'm making a lot of you hopping mad out there. Don't believe me? Look at, let me see, where is it? Article, or the amendment. And by the way, senators was changed via the 17th Amendment. You can look that up. Somewhere in here, and I can't remember where it is now, it shows you the date of January 6th of the following year, following the November election. That's when the president is elected. So now, wouldn't it be amazing now, let's say we have an abomination on November 4th, at least that's what they tell you. And then here comes along the electors, the Electoral College vote. All of a sudden on January 6th, breaking news. Breaking news, John McCain president. And you're going to be hopping mad. You're going to say, no, we voted for, no, you didn't. The electors decided to pick John McCain in that instance. So quit being so stupid. Turn off your TV, read the damn Constitution until you can understand what the hell am I talking about. No, I'm not lying to you. Oh, I'm going to make some enemies today. So if you don't like this country, you get out. Because I know what this country's about. I follow the law. I know what the law says. And I'm trying to be a real American, unlike most of you. These pseudo-Americans, these fence-sitters who, when it comes time for this country to be conquered, will be waiting to see which side wins so they can go on that side and bow down and kiss those boots that feed you. Because you don't know your history, you don't know anything about law or the Constitution, you continue to be brainwashed on a daily basis by your TV and other media sources. You won't take the time to read what I just read you to make sure it's true. Maybe I'm making enough of you mad and you're going to prove me wrong. Go right ahead. Prove me wrong, buddy. I'd love to have somebody try to do that. At least that's one person I wake up because they'll find that they can't prove me wrong. Okay. I guess I'm done with my rant. If you want your own rant, you can have your own TV show, by the way. If you think I'm full of crap, you have your own TV and spout more lies if you want. I bring the truth. And I'm the only show out of thousands that brings you the truth. And I think I've proven that today. So this has been a show called Forbidden Knowledge. My name is Craig, and we do this every week, if I'm not killed before next week. We do this every week, and we will continue to do this every week as long as I think I can, or if I get enough attention, enough people watching the show, because it doesn't see it that way. We will be on live next week, by the way. The change is November 7th and November 24th.